Hello friends, it's me, your pal Bill Savely with Savage's Disc Golf, and it's time for another video. Alright, so recap on the Glow League. I start every week the same way. A little bit of warm up, some positivity, I take a pre-workout drink, I take some pain reliever, I wear knee braces, I'm layered, I go in with a positive attitude, and I go in with a goal, and it used to be 8 under par. Well, since I hit 11 under par, I think I've started to set my goals a little bit higher. I'd be happy with 8 under par, but I'm really gunning for something a little bit more. This week was another interesting week. There were 49 people that showed up. 49. The weather was perfect. There was little to no wind. I had a great card, and we started on hole number 1. And I like starting on hole number 1 because it's more of a clean-cut order. I like starting on the first hole. I like the whole layout. It's a fun hole. It's really a good hole. Hello. And it's one of those holes where the layout is such that it's a perfect opportunity for a birdie. And I'm at that point in my game now where I should be birdieing hole number 1 every single time. So hole number 1, boom, right out of the gate. A decent drive, a really nice upshot. I sink that putt, birdie. We get to hole number 2, actually hole number 1A, because it's an alternate hole. It's a hole that we create for the course so that we can have 20 holes instead of just 18. I went a little bit to the right, and I was far past where I wanted to throw it. And I was a bit impeded by a tree. And I just kind of went into it like, okay, well, here we are. And I grabbed that judge putter of mine and I took a straddle stance, and I knew I had to throw it on a bit of an angle this way to go around a tree. And I just visualized the shot. And rather than think, hey, I gotta dunk this into the basket, I thought to myself, I just have to hit this gap right here in the beginning. And I threw it that way. It coasted, it hyzered, and then went a little to flat and pachink right into the basket. Birdie. So after 2 holes, I'm 2 under par. And I can't begin to tell you how wonderful that was to be in that place mentally and know that I was already 2 under par after 2 holes. I ended up parring hole number 2. 2A, I threw an absolute beautiful floater shot with the Envy over the bushes, flexed in right near the basket, boom, sink that for a birdie. We get to 2B, a basket that I set up. It's another additional hole, much like 2A, and it's just a straight shot. It's a straight little floater shot in between trees above a trash can. Boom, right there, I sink that, another birdie. Well, after the first 10 holes, I was 6 under par. Mentally thinking about that. Hey, wow, I'm 6 under par. I'm halfway through. If I just continue on this pace, I could hit 12 under. And then, I don't know exactly how it happened, but I know what happened. I started to really get into my own head and think, hey, maybe if I throw this a little bit harder, I could get some more distance off the tee and I could start scooping up these birdies. But that doesn't necessarily work at all, ever. I don't think that works for anybody. Overcompensating and trying to really hit those gaps put me in a place where I wasn't hitting the gaps. I wasn't releasing the disc the right way. And it wasn't until the second time we played 3X, which is a combination of holes 3 and 4. I had already taken a bunch of pars and I thought, man, how is this? And then I shanked that tee shot off of 3X. And I left myself with quite a distance to make up in order to set myself up for the birdie. And I picked the Bokeh. This is my Bokeh. I tape it up with glow tape because I want to throw this in the Glow League. They just don't make this in glow plastic. So I made my own glow version. I grabbed this disc, I did a warm-up, did a practice, and then I really just focused on my form and not trying to kill it, and not trying to really arm it. And it was poetry. This thing came out of my hand like a laser beam. Threaded 2 trees, went over a creek, landed, skidded up right near the edge of the first circle. And I made that putt for birdie. And I thought to myself, I cannot believe I just salvaged that. So then again, mentally I'm back in the game. But then I go from 3x to 5. 5 is beginning to be a difficult hole for me. Normally I was throwing my Valkyrie. Well, I'm throwing the disc so much better now. The Valkyrie, instead of being stable and a little overstable because of my arm speed, now it's beginning to be a little bit understable for me. So unless I hit that gap the right way, it tails off to the right. And you can't tail off to the right on hole number 5. There's a bunch of hedges over there. The pin is a little bit over to the left from the tee pad. So you really want something that just kind of glides in and goes over. So the first time I threw the Saint, and I don't have the Saint with me, of course, but it's a little tick overstable and it did pretty well. And then the second time what I did is, because I was throwing the trail so well, the trail is developing better for me in the glow, because I made this one a glow as well. I don't know if you can see the tape. But I chucked this one and I'm getting a little bit more distance, which is what I need on hole number 5. And as long as I hit that angle, it will curve the right way and dump where I needed it to go. With 2 holes left, I was 8 under par with 2 holes to play. And then I bogeyed the second to last hole because I just missed. My tee shot wasn't good. My upshot wasn't good. I left myself too long of a putt to save par, because it's a par 3. Arguably, I would say it's the most difficult hold on the course. And I bogeyed. So then I thought, all right, well, I'm not 8 under par anymore. I'm 7 under par. That's still pretty good. I just need to par this last hole. And I grabbed what I thought was the trusty trail, and I threw this, and it was a little too much on angle and a little too high. So this thing just rode and carried and skipped out of bounds. Skipped out of bounds far enough from the basket to where it wasn't an easy par save. So I took a bogey on the last hole. So then I went from 7 under par to 6 under par. There went my clean card. There went a really, really, really good score. 6 under par. And I will tell you this, I still had a ton of fun. I still learned. Every single time I play, I learned. And so for the Glow League, the trail is really beginning to become a better disc for me now that I'm learning to throw it better and not worry about always trying to kill it. This has been the belle of the ball in both my Glow League and my regular daytime league or daytime golf bag. The Axiom Boca, the Simon Line Boca, the Boca Latte with a latte stamp. You can't see it because I taped it up with glow. This disc is an absolute dream for me, and I'm so glad I picked it up because I am throwing this very well. And then the Envy. The Envy continues to be a workhorse for me. So these are the 3 discs that I used that really did well for me in the league. And then we talked about the Valkyrie. I'm thinking about just taking this out of the glow bag. It served me well for a long time, but now it's a little too understable for me. And there are other discs that I use that suit me better. So in order to give myself a lighter bag to carry on the Glow Leagues, I'm taking the Valkyrie out. Same thing with what was one of my favorite discs of all time, the James Conrad Detour, an understable mid-range. Well, I'm getting better off tee and I'm choosing the mid-range less and less. I'm throwing the zone instead of a mid-range because I'm throwing the disc better now. Better mechanics, better distance. I'm not relying on the mid-ranges anymore. It's a smaller course in Berwyn. So James Conrad is coming out of the bag. And then also removing itself from the bag, with a little help from me, is the range. This disc is a fun little floater, 2-1, negative 0.5, 0.5. So it's just almost no glide. It's just gonna dump. Think of it, I guess, as almost like a berg. I just don't throw this enough. So it's been sitting in my bag for like 3 weeks now and I haven't reached for it. So I'm taking that out. So 3 discs will be taken out of that bag of mine, and it'll give me some more room and it'll be less of a hassle to carry. It's not really a hassle anyway. Speaking of my bag, this is my glow bag, and I made some alterations to it from a video that I saw on YouTube. I made myself a little cpvc pipe skeleton for the inside here, so this thing will sit flat on the ground and it won't tip. Gives it some rigidity. And it's a frame. It's on the top here with the pipe goes all the way up here and it spans the entire length. And then down here you have, it goes all the way down into the bag. And then I don't know, maybe if you can see that, but it's essentially just a frame. And I made some changes to it. It did sit up a little too high for me for the longest time, and my discs didn't sit in there the right way. So I lowered the whole apparatus. I removed a bar that the disc sat up on because it was affecting my putter pouch. So now it's better. Second problem I had with this is because it's cpvc, for some reason it just doesn't stick into the connectors as well as regular PVC. So I actually had to go out and get some cpvc cement. So I did that tonight. I cemented all of these joints in here, and then where it connects in the bag here, here, and here, I did not cement these so that I can get this in and out of the bag easier. And we'll see. If I do have a problem, I'll end up cementing those. But in order to get this thing back into the bag, because it's such a tight fit, I had to keep those separate. So I put the bottom in first, and then I put the top up in here, and then just threw them in there and those joints, the T-joints. That's that. That's what I got for you. I enrolled tonight in the Fraction Cup Run 8 in April. It's a 2-day tournament. I originally wanted to enroll in MA60, but I don't know, thinking of it, and I found myself on a wait list until they opened up more slots. And then realistically, I thought I probably have a better shot in MA4, which is where I'm at based on my rating, which is 816. So I went back online, altered my registration, put myself in MA4 instead, and I know that's the better decision based on my skill. Yeah, these 60-year-old guys can still shoot lights out because they've been playing for a very long time. Second of all, speaking of the tournament, it's at one of my favorite courses, Delwood, and this Sunday I will be playing in the Springtime Flex. So it's a sanctioned event. It counts toward my BDGA rating, and I'm looking to continue to move upward in ratings. So I'm 816 now. I'm looking to turn in maybe like an 870 round so that my rating will jump. I love this sport. That's what I got for you. I'll give you another video at the end of the tournament on Saturday to recap how I did. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, and do something you love, man. Get yourself a hobby that you love, preferably a hobby that will get you outside in the elements where you can breathe in the fresh air, you can get some sunshine, and give yourself a hobby that is physically taxing. Not to the point where you're exhausted, but it's going to give you a decent workout, because you got to take care of the body. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.